After carrying the Bravo X Sling V2 for work, I kept asking myself one question. What if I had all this organization but enough room to carry everything I actually want throughout the day? Because while I love the Bravo X Sling, there were definitely a few days where I wish I had a little bit more capacity. Well, Alpaka may have already solved that problem with the Bravo Sling Max V2, and after loading this out for work, I think this might be one of the most capable office and everyday carry sling bags I've ever used. What's going on, guys? Mikey here with Mikey Daily Carry. Welcome back to the channel where we talk everyday carry gear, practical preparedness, and helping you get more out of gear you already own. Today, we're continuing the work sling bag rotation series with the Alpaka Bravo Sling Max V2 in dark green X-Pack. Now, before we jump in, Alpaka did send this bag over for a review. I am an affiliate for Alpaka, and if you decide to pick anything up on their site, I'll have the link in the description down below along with the discount code. But that said, Alpaka isn't paying me to make this video. They didn't review this video before it went live. All these thoughts and opinions are my own. Now, if you watch my previous video on the Bravo X Sling V2, you'll know I came away pretty impressed. It offered great organization, a premium build quality, and enough room for my daily essentials without feeling oversized. But there was one thing I couldn't stop thinking about. What happens when you need a little more? Maybe you're carrying a laptop, maybe you're carrying an extra camera or tech, maybe you're heading straight from work to another commitment and need additional gear. That's where the Bravo Sling Max V2 enters this conversation. Think of this as the bigger brother to the Bravo X Sling. Same Alpaka DNA, same attention to detail, just more room to work with. Now, the Bravo Sling Max V2 comes in at approximately 10 liters of capacity, making it one of the larger sling bags in Alpaka's lineup. And honestly, that's what immediately grabbed my attention. This isn't trying to be a minimal sling by any means. This is designed for people who genuinely carry gear every single day. The dimensions provide enough room to comfortably carry a laptop, tablet, chargers, notebooks, tech accessories, and items that tend to accumulate throughout your day. For someone like me, who's constantly moving between work and shooting content and editing content, that extra space makes a huge difference. This version right here is the dark green X-Pack model, and if you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you already know I'm a sucker for premium materials. X-Pack has easily become one of my favorite bag materials because it offers great combination of durability, weather resistance, and lightweight performance. It also has that distinctive technical appearance that many of us in the EDC community appreciate. The dark green colorway gives the bag some personality while still looking professional enough for an office environment. It's not flashy, it's not loud, but it definitely stands out from the sea of plain black bags. The bag also features YKK zippers throughout, durable hardware, reinforced stitching, and overall fit and finish I've come to expect from an Alpaka product. One thing Alpaka consistently does well is organization. So starting off with the exterior of the bag, you have your X-Pack material blended in with your AquaGuard YKK zippers. But if you notice here on the bottom, there's this reinforced nylon that really makes it comfortable for when you want to set this bag down. As you guys can see here, it stands on its own. But when you want to set this bag down on some concrete or just a floor or carpet at work or what have you, you can have the confidence that the bottom of this bag is not going to get all messed up. You have one compartment here in the front and also a leather accent of an Alpaka design right here and logo on the front. Then you have your main compartment right here. You have another hidden stash pocket right up top. And then you have another zipper compartment right back here. There is this grab handle here, which is really nice because it also acts as a luggage pass-through. And then you got little slits here where you can slide maybe pens or other accessories that have clips. The strap itself, the shoulder strap, is very nice and padded. It has this geometry that comes with it that makes it very comfortable and breathable when you're wearing this. It also has some MOLLE webbing right here in case you want to add some accessories while you wear this thing. This does run off of a mag lock system. So what you do is you press this, that comes off. This also comes off like so. So without the strap, it can look like a briefcase, which is really cool. I personally don't rock it like that. I still use the shoulder strap because at times this thing can get heavy, so I want that extra reinforcement. But this also is a mag lock feature, so what you do is that just comes off like so, and then it just snaps on. You can hear that right there. Really like when they do that with their straps. And on the bottom here, you do have another D-ring, so that way if you want to add more reinforcement straps to this bag, you can do so. I think it's a little overkill if you ask me, but that's what you have on the exterior of the bag. So let's talk about how I loaded this thing out, and then we'll go into more of the features of this bag and who it's going to be good for. So in the front, opening this up here, I have my Civivi Partake. This is probably my most favorite EDC tool for 2026. It's actually a silverware multi-tool. Comes with your fork, spoon, knife, bottle opener. But this has come in handy much more than other EDC gear that I've carried this year, and it gets me very excited. I stayed at a hotel not too long ago, and I'm like, crap, I forgot to get utensils at complimentary breakfast, and I looked in my bag, I had this thing. So I really love that. In here also, I've kind of kitted this front section out as like my tech area, and I have this card reader here. It reads SD and micro SD cards. I also have power banks. So I have my Anker power bank here, which I've talked about in a lot of videos. Guys, if this is the first time watching this video, this is a series of sling bags that I typically carry and have been rotating for work/EDC. A lot of the things have not changed. So if you're a repeat viewer of mine and you're like, there he goes again, well, you know, these are things that are just dialed. So I don't really like rotating it as much unless I'm reviewing a new product, but for the most part, staples tend to stay with me. So I have that power bank. I also have this power bank here. This is the NB10000 Gen 4 by Nightcore. Super fast charging for each one. This has an included USB-C cable. This one also has a USB-C to USB-C cable that acts as a lanyard for this power bank here. USB-C ports right there. And then I have my wall mount that takes two USB-Cs along with a USB-A, and this is another Anker product. I am not sponsored by Anker, however, I do have affiliate links for them for Amazon because I am an Amazon affiliate. I have a Write in the Rain universal notebook. This right here is very handy for just jotting down different video ideas like this one here. I like putting that in there. And that's pretty much what I have in that front compartment. Now, taking a look at this here, you do have one pocket right here, another pocket on this side. Oh, actually, you know what? I have my nail clippers. Got my little grooming kit in here. So you have one pocket here, one pocket here. You have a mesh pocket right here on the front as well. And then you have a little bit of an opening here in the front where you can stash more gear. It looks like about 1.5 inches of space that you have in there that you can put stuff in. And then the front flap has two pockets. Now, I find that if you load the back part out, this kind of becomes obsolete because you're just cramming stuff in there. So that's what I have in this front section. Now, moving on to the main compartment, opening this up here. So as you can see, that high-vis orange definitely pops out at you. I really like that because it's super easy to spot your gear. You're not going to have to scramble around, digging through things. Everything is just popping out, and especially if your gear is darker colored, like a lot of mine, as you can see, you can spot it quite easily. So in this main compartment, back here, I have my iPad 11 Pro. This edits all my videos and all that. And this right here is a huge felt lined section. You can fit a 14-inch MacBook in here. I have a 14-inch MacBook. I've tried it. It fits. So you can have that in here. I do find though that the larger you go, the tech, or at least the laptop or tablet, you are going to take up a little bit more space in this inner cavity. So the 11 for me is a sweet spot because I can still store a lot of gear, which I'm going to show you. So I have another power bank that is in here because there's this cable here, and this cable attached to this section out here, which is a charging port. So that way, if I have an included USB-C cable here, if I want to plug that into there and then plug it into one of my devices while I have the other one plugged into this power bank, I could charge my things on the go. And that's why I have that there. Also, this little thing right here backs as a SIM card opener, at least the little hole on your phone to pop in SIM cards. So this really is meant for traveling, because if you travel overseas and your typical SIM card doesn't work in that country or area, you can pop in a new SIM card and you have your SIM card tool there. So that's what I have in that section here. On the opposite side of that, I have my Ouchie Boo Boo kit, which is in my Data Crew side fry in the Ultra fabric, which I really like. Love the material on this, love how much it can store. Can't say anything bad about Data, really. I also have my fan, and gosh, I'm recording in the studio right now. It is super hot, so this fan comes in clutch. Another favorite buy of mine for 2026. This is a fan from Miniso. This also backs as a 1200 milliamp power bank, and I run hot, guys, so this thing definitely helps me out. There's like a bigger version that they have for this, and it was like 14 bucks, but it was just way too large. This thing just kind of disappears in my hand if I do that. I have my DJI Osmo Pocket 3. This is also another workhorse of mine. I have it kitted out with like a cage. It also has different quick release adapters on here and a lot of things from Ulanzi. And I have my Leatherman extension toolkit. I have some patches there: Carry Culture, Everyday Minimalist, The Good Life, Sock Checks. And then in here I have my Leatherman Skeletal, along with all the different bits from 711L, along with Leatherman, to really expand the typical use of a Leatherman flat bit driver. That is all in here. I had a dedicated video where I talked about what was in these two pouches specifically. I'll make sure I link that down below. And that's pretty much what I have in the main compartment. Now, in the middle of all of this, you do have a pretty big cavity that's about 3 inches. So you have your felt lined laptop sleeve compartment. You have that huge cavity down in the center, and then you have 2 big dump pockets, one here and one here. Again, if you have more stuff in the dump pockets, the inner cavity down here kind of becomes obsolete. And then if you go larger with your laptop, that's also going to bleed into a lot of the space here. So you just got to proportion it the right way. That way you can map it out right. Now, this is that extra pocket, which is all felt line. And in here, I have another camera. And this is my Osmo Nano. Because a lot of times when I'm vlogging, I like using, in addition to my Pocket 3, I like using an action cam because it can go into a lot of places that my DJI Osmo can't. And this, I can just snap onto metal surfaces while I record and look at the screen to see how I have my shot, which is really nice. I have it on my tripod as well, because if I just want to place it on a desk or anything like that, it works fantastic. I have different accessories that I have for the Osmo Nano. So this one clips onto hat bills, which is really cool. I used that when I went to Disneyland with a family. And then this right here is the necklace that you can just put on here and snap the Osmo Nano on there. And then I have my Rode Wireless Micro, which actually is USB-C compatible. This is what I use for a lot of my cell phone videos because I'm also a cell phone content creator. I have my mics. I think I have 2 mics in here. Yep, I have one mic that is paired automatically to my Pocket 3, another mic that is paired directly to my Osmo Nano. Although the on-body microphones for each one of these work phenomenal. I have no issues whatsoever. And then, speaking of phone content creation, this right here is like a little desk stand for my phone. So I just open that up and then I can plant my phone on there. It could be landscape or portrait, however you want that. And that just slides onto here. So in this entire felt cavity section, you have a pocket here, a pocket right here, another smaller pocket next to it, and then you have a larger pocket. So 4 pockets essentially on the backside that you have there. And then we can't forget about my infamous hygiene pocket, which is going to be right back here. So this is kind of hidden, and you open this up, and this is where I have my element, I have floss, I have my pure gum along with some wisps, I have my lotion, I have some hand sanitizer, and I have some Advil. And that right there is the bag. There's no organization back there, it's just one large dump pouch. And that is how I have this loaded out. So who is this bag for? I think this bag makes the most sense for a few specific types of people. Number one, if you're an office professional, this is absolutely a good bag for you. If you're a commuter, this is another good bag because it gives you a little bit more capacity. If you need to change clothes or things like that, or have more things on you, that's going to be good. And third, tech enthusiasts or content creators like myself. Carrying 2 cameras, don't normally do that, but I've been liking the different angles that I have for videos, and that really helps out. And lastly, anyone who keeps trying to make a smaller sling work, but continuously finds themselves running out of room, this one's for you. This is definitely not no pocket dump sling. This is a mobile workstation, and honestly, it's exactly how I've been using it. So after carrying the Bravo Sling Max V2, I think the biggest takeaway is this. It doesn't feel like a larger sling by any means where I feel like I should just rock a backpack. It feels like a legitimate alternative to a backpack, and that's probably the highest compliment I can give it. I still get the convenience and accessibility of a sling bag, but I gain enough capacity to carry everything I need without having to leave things behind. For my work routine and as an everyday bag, that's a pretty compelling combination. So far, I'm genuinely impressed with what Alpaka has done here. The Bravo Sling Max V2 feels like the natural progression for someone who enjoys sling bags but occasionally needs more capacity than a traditional sling can offer. Now I'm going to continue carrying this throughout the work week and see how it performs during real world use, because as you guys know, a bag can look fantastic on paper, but everyday use is what ultimately determines whether it stays in the rotation. But now I want to hear from you. Are you a smaller sling person or a larger sling person? Or at this point, would you just move into carrying a backpack and be in that territory? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and hit a thumbs up because it really helps the channel out. If you're new around here, consider subscribing. I've got plenty more bag reviews, work EDC loadouts, and practical gear content coming your way. And as always, stay prepared, stay aware, carry what matters, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.